Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Benny's Movie Park, which in the foreseeable future might actually be the last time we'll be here, because as you probably suspected, it is finished. The entire park has been pretty much wrapped up the way I intended, besides maybe a single Star Wars area. But besides that, it is done. It's finished, and it has taken so long. It has been almost exactly 13 months, well over a year. It's actually crazy. And today we'll go ahead and have the final tour through this park, and this will probably be split up in 2 or 3 episodes because it's a lot, and it's gonna take quite a while to look at everything. So this is hereby the first part. I won't waste your time too much. Let's honestly just go ahead and get straight to it. Now, this park has had quite an update as far as the entrance goes. Many of you actually haven't seen this in detail. On the right hand side we have a bunch of Western buildings, which are copied, of course, because why build them again if you already have them? But they look pretty nice still, just along this edge, and that later bleeds into some Egyptian buildings, which also are copied from the park itself. This serves as just some nice scenery for the entrance, getting you hyped to actually get inside the park. And on the other side is just a pretty simple, plain grass field, which honestly is completely fine. I have basically no grass that is just grass in this park. And so this seems like a nice bit of a calm sort of way to fix it. With, of course, above the Back to the Future coaster track. So that is the front area in front of the entrance, at least. Then we have the actual ticket booths, which weren't here before. This is completely new, and I really love the way this looks. It's more of a classic theme park vibe, which I thought could be fitting for this park, especially since Benny's Movie Park 2 also had something like this at the entrance. As always, some welcome signs in various languages. Yeah, I suppose it kind of speaks for itself. On the side here you have some services, which is nice. That one's closed. And on the other side, some restrooms. So that is, excuse me, what is new? If we pass through, this was the OG entrance, the original entrance, which is not actually an entrance. It's just, you know, a cool gateway into the park, I suppose. But yes, on the left here, I did a similar thing by copying some pirate buildings from the park itself to just kind of spice this up. This was very empty before, now it's a lot nicer. And then everything else you see here was built in the very first few episodes of this series, which is crazy. There is one extra addition, however, and that is this toilet stall in the pirate theme, which looks really nice from the back as well, especially for the train ride. That's kind of why I built it as well, because without this, you could just see into this area from the train. Not very nice, so that's why I added that. Of course, the fountain in the center, which is not sequenced, it's just always on. I felt like that was the nicest thing to have here. And well, yes, of course, this way all the way up here is now pretty much useless because the train is up there now. As you can tell, you can't actually go through here because that right there is the train track. Still, it's a nice little bit of a like a view over this area, which is nice, I suppose, to have. But it used to be a lot more fun where you could walk all the way across the entrance area, but now you can't. So there's that. I suppose let's then go ahead and enter the park, and therefore the first area, the original first area, the pirate area. Today we'll be covering this pirate area, the second pirate area, and Jurassic Park, and Fearville. And then everything else is going to be the next episode, because that's a whole other thing, as you can tell. But for now, this right here. First off, we have some signs pointing you in the right directions for rides and themed lands, which is fun. Those are spread all across the entire park. And that brings me right along to this giant pirate ship, which I built before this theme was even in the game. In general, this whole area was built before the pirate theme was reintroduced. I did, of course, later add some more parts from that theme, but this ship is still pretty much untouched by those new pieces. And I must say, I like this a lot better than the actual ship that's included in the pirate theme. It's just super detailed, it's nice, it's old, it's kind of crooked and imperfect, which really makes it just look so much more piratey. And so, yeah, this is by far my favorite part of this whole area. It looks super detailed, took way too long. Oh my god. I just knocked something over. Holy shit. That could have gone so much worse than it did. If we move over to the right side here, we have a lovely little lighthouse, which actually is pretty simple, but yet again, most of the things are. It's just being creative with a few pieces, and that brings you to buildings like these, which, I mean, does look pretty nice. Inside are a bunch of food stalls, which I do very, very often, just to make sure people actually buy stuff. Right next to it is the entrance to Sea Cups, which is, of course, the teacups ride that you can see right over here. I did add some mist to it later on because it's a bit more atmospheric that way. And of course, the ride itself is completely decorated with a bunch of wooden elements, some stuff in the middle there, giant sails, which together makes for a pretty sweet looking flat ride. You can really just walk all around all the way to the end here, which now has just become a sort of lookout point over this area. Before I had the idea to continue from here, but that did not end up making it in the final version of this park. Anyway, over here we have the Pirate Adventure. We'll cover that later, but that's a sort of adventure trail that leads all the way to there, but also all the way to the other side of this area, which in fact, that we can actually do now, but not before these toilets here, and this is yet another entrance to that same thing. So let's go ahead, go in here, make our way down these stairs, and you can already tell these are basically a bunch of scaffolding pieces. No, not scaffolding. A bunch of docks and stuff like that that really create a nice little path all around this area. You can just walk all across. I'm just happy there are actual people that use this because I was afraid nobody would go here. Did of course add some stalls on the ship here, which is a duplicate of the other one, just has some white sails instead. But as you can tell, you can also go up there, and there's actually some little stalls, like a, well, here, over here, just some desks where you can get some drinks. So that is pretty sweet. Then we can just continue here, yet another stall to attract more people, and this goes all through till about here, where you can just go back up and end up here again, which this is also a little entrance to that adventure thing. And this even goes all the way back to the entrance, which I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. So that's fun, I guess. So that also goes back to the other side of the area, but we'll do that later, because first, actually, the Jurassic Park area. I thought it'd be fun to kind of do this in the same order I built it, and I built the Jurassic Park area straight after this first main area, so I suppose it only makes sense to go here next. And yeah, well, this speaks for itself, I suppose. Those who watched this series know how much fun I had with this. All these plants, just change the lighting here, you can see a bit better. This looks really cool. I absolutely loved using all these brand new and detailed plants, because before it was always just the blocky plants and trees from Roblox. This was a giant step up for me personally, and I absolutely loved and still love it. But yes, now let's go ahead and enter the park. So, on your right-hand side, there is one of the only dinosaurs that there are in this park, because I just don't love the way this looks. I'd rather not have these than have them look like this. But, yeah, this is a T-Rex. Its head moves. Yep, I suppose that is that. On the right side here, we have the entrance to the log flume ride, which is the only ride for which I won't include a POV later on, because that is how boring it is. Genuinely tedious. Basically, the only nice part about it is this building, the entrance building, because in here you have the banner on which it says the original quote from the movie. There's a bunch of eggs here. There's just some lights. This looks decent, quite nice, quite accurate. It has the vibe of Jurassic Park. And then the rest of the queue is, to be fair, the queue is actually pretty sweet, now that I think of it. Like, the queue is nice, but the ride itself is just really boring. I just really don't love the way that turned out. But if you walk all the way up here, follow these people around, and you end up at the station. Pretty lame part of the queue this is, but well, this is the station. You go inside, you ride, and you get the hell out on this side. So you go ahead and make your way back to the area. I really, I wish I could demolish this ride, but without it, it's just kind of a big empty space, so I won't. But it's really my least favorite thing I've built in this game so far. I don't know why, I just don't like it. So, yep, this building though, absolutely love it. It looks very accurate as well, like very accurate. Probably the most accurate Jurassic Park thing we have in the Jurassic Park area. Of course, there's also a bunch of tables here and a little restaurant. You can go sit down and eat something. On the other side of this area is a sort of food building with a few tables in front. That's nice and all. It's very simple. This is, again, the beginning of my journey in this game, so I wasn't really all that good at it yet. You can tell by the simplicity of this. It's just, well, it works, actually, but it's not that great. Nowadays, I would have definitely done something else. But finally here at the very back, you have the toilet stalls based upon the scene where the guy gets eaten on the toilet. Very sad. But I thought that'd be a fun Easter egg, and it is. If we turn around, however, there is the entrance to the big ride in this, well, one of the two big rides, but the fun big ride in this area, which is the Ford Explorer Adventure. If you want to see the POVs of these rides, that's not going to be in this video, it's going to be in a separate video, along with a final video with all the POVs inside. So just wait for that, keep on the lookout, because I have a single individual video for every single big ride in this park, the night POV, the bumper POV, all sorts of cool stuff, so be on the lookout for that. For now, however, there's not much else here, so let us continue to not the next area. Let us walk all the way back to the pirate area, the second half of the pirate area, because I built, once that new pack arrived, I built a completely new section which looks so much better than this. Not to say that this looks bad, but that area is honestly a whole different kind of thing. So let's head there right away. Over here, it starts with a bunch of barrels. Particularly this piece, I absolutely overused. Like, I used this so often, but it just looks great. So yeah, as you can tell, a bunch of docks here. Let me actually change the lighting again. On the left, we have a few simple pirate-looking buildings. This building actually was copied quite a few times. There are some weird glitches since that update. But anyway, also a few of these animatronics are spread throughout this area, because of course we didn't have those before. It's mostly the vibe, the coziness, just the style that I love so much about this area. Is definitely the best, strongest vibe I believe we have here. Everything just works so well together, all these wooden elements, these barrels rolling down. Of course, here's the entrance to Hill Valley, that's something else. But yeah, I just absolutely love how detailed all this looks. Those scaffolding pieces are such a game changer as well. By the way, ignore that, because that's once again a bug since that new update. You cannot change that. It's, I don't know why, it's a few of these sandstone pieces that you just cannot change anymore. I hope they fix that ASAP, but just ignore that. So over here we have the train station entrance. If you go inside, you can tell people somehow absolutely die for this train. If we go all the way up here, you can actually go and enter the station just up here through this thing. A bunch of kettle pens here, and then all the way at the back you can make your way up to the actual train station. Look right over here. The stations themselves usually aren't that crazy. It just has a cool shipwreck piece at the top. It's pretty simplistic actually, but it works, it's fine. It doesn't need to be all that extravagant because, well, it's a train station. You would then get out on this side. You can walk all the way here for some cool views, but there's nothing actually here besides, so we won't go there. We're gonna go the other way back to the dock area over here. Yes, so that is the train station. Is called Tortuga Station, based on the Pirates movies, of course. And then there's the big ride here, which is called Cannonball. It's a spinning Maurer coaster, and I think it turned out pretty sweet. As always, the POV is kind of a weird thing because it's spinning, so half the time you don't see anything. So I included both the bumper POV and the guest POV in that final POV video, so you have a bunch of different views of it. Because, well, without that, it's kind of chaos and you don't really see what's actually going on. So, yes. Then here is a giant restaurant, or, well, it has a few things actually, but this is mainly a restaurant, as you can tell. People are eating some snacks over here. I love these tables, by the way. These are so fun looking. Perfect. But yeah, so here is the actual restaurant where you can get your food. On the other side, you also have some tables, some indoor seating areas with the coaster going through the roof. I love elements like that. It's so interactive, so fun. And you can also go through to the other side, along with over here to some decorative stuff on the walls, some barrels. Again, coaster goes straight through, and some toilets. So that is that. You can go here to the other side, and then also you could go through there and go straight to the Hill Valley area. But let's just go back here first and go straight past the docks, because this also looks super cool. You have a sushi place over here to get yourself some lovely sushi. This is again an exit of that same seating area. You can really go through this a bunch of ways. There's a bunch of tunnels and you know, roads that go through these buildings. So there's really no one way to go. You can go all sorts of ways. But this right here is a souvenir shop and the exit of the coaster, which starts at the opposite side over here. This is of course Cannonball, the spinning coaster. Let's check out the queue very quick. We have some kettle pens here. You can go out. You can just make your way across all these little docks here. And I think over here you go up. Yes, up, 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 up. Then some more kettle pens, some further up. And then you go around this building into the station building over here. Anxiously waiting to get in. Here, this is the entrance. So you go inside. And then you have the station, which I think looks pretty sweet. It's not really that piratey because of the purple lighting, but it still looks really cool. I quite like that. Some elements like that to enhance the pirate vibe. But yes, you then get out on this side, make your way down into the souvenir shop over here around the corner. You can get some photos here, some ride photos which are being taken during the ride, and then also some souvenirs, just a memento. And yeah, so that is some very lovely stuff. So dumb. I don't know why you can't change that, but gonna have to wait for that to be fixed. That is then Cannonball, of course the on-ride POV, separate video as always. Yes, so then there's one more section which we haven't looked at properly, and that is this. The coaster goes here straight through this ship, as you can tell, right over there. You all see that in the POV, of course. But then also this building has a backside, which is very, very simple. It's only decorative, basically. And this leads you then to Hill Valley. That's a different area, not for right now. You can also go through here, which leads you back to the first part of this area. So as I said earlier, a bunch of different roads, really fun, interactive. So yeah, let's go back here so I can show you the very end of this area, which of course has a little new section of buildings in the back, which is all decor for the coaster that is here. And this is basically just the end. Like, it stops here. You have some viewpoints with a few benches at the very back to just eat something or just relax for a minute. With a cool view of Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and other stuff like the train, I don't know. You can just sit here, have some calm, peace and quiet, and go from there. So yes, of course we also have this giant ship, but that's not really that crazy because it's a pre-made element. I did put that on like a rocking boat effect, like the rotating platform thing, the radial platform actually, which makes it come alive just a lot. I did not do anything creative for this. It's just a pre-made ship. I just couldn't not use it because it is a pretty sweet looking thing to have anyway. Yes, before going back to Hill Valley, let's first check out Fearville because it's really, really tiny. All the way up here, there is Benji's Movie Park presents Fearville, which is basically a tiny little horror land. Over here you have two themes. One of them is It, like Pennywise, and the other is Five Nights at Freddy's in the back there. The It theme in the form of this balloon ride, which it really speaks for itself. It's just a bunch of red balloons. I really thought this was a cool idea. Someone else commented this and I just needed to put that in there. So the entrance is over here, Pennywise balloon ride, and then the other side is the exit. Across this area is the house from It, which is loosely based on it. A bunch of candles inside and a restaurant, along with, of course, some picnic tables to eat your food. So this, it looks relatively accurate for the size. It's just a fun little detail, some references, and of course Pennywise's balloons, where you can get some actual balloons. So that is super fun, but still quite simple. It's not too big. It's kind of a quiet, calm area with, of course, a train track going straight through. And in the very back, the Five Nights at Freddy's ride. Now this I won't spoil at all. This is going to be, well, actually it's probably already out. If you want to watch the POV right now, you can. It's already on the channel. But after this, you go and watch that. I love the way this turned out. It's absolutely fantastic. It's something different than everything else. It's a dark ride, so it speaks for itself. But yeah, the exit is over here, so you get out right there and make your way back. The only sad thing about the train and the crossings of the train is you can't stop people from crossing. There are no crossings for trains, and that would be something I think is really nice to have. I hope they add that at some point, but I tried something with fences, it didn't work. So you just have to imagine people waiting for the train to cross. So yeah, that is Fearville. Of course, at the very back here, there is this. Guests can't enter this, it's just for show. A sort of back section area for staff and for, you know, this sort of stuff. Just a bunch of junk, a bunch of backup elements, some stages, some scaffolding. I don't even know. I had this left. There was a spare area, so I thought, why not just put some realistic elements, some bins. And that basically wraps up Fearville. The train goes all the way through the pirate area to the pirate area. And yeah, so that, I suppose, is this section of the park. Again, some more signs. That goes straight to Hogsmeade and Hogwarts. This goes, of course, and we just came from here. You wouldn't need to walk all the way back to the entrance to enter Hogwarts. You can just go from here. It's a lot quicker. So, however, we're not going to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to Hill Valley. Yet another theme I picked from Benny's Movie Park 2. Over here, we have a giant entrance. This leads you straight into Hill Valley. One of two entrances to this park. Yeah, this side is the lesser side, I suppose, but still, it's fine. Over here, we have a ton of stuff. Most of these buildings are actually wildly accurate. I put a lot of effort into this. It took way too long, and I will say now, I do not like this area at all. And that's not to say I didn't do a decent job. I just hate the way these buildings look in the movies. The whole style of 2015 Hill Valley, it's just very goofy. It's not that cool looking. I'm not even sure it was a realistic kind of view of how 2015 would look back in the 80s. I mean, it turned out fine. We have some souvenirs over here. We have the Uniglobe building, all of this stuff. This I did kind of do myself. This isn't supposed to be here. At least the ride is not. These buildings are. Looks, again, pretty accurate, actually. But I did add a ride inside of it, of course. It's still a theme park, of course, so it makes sense. But in the center here, we have, of course, the lake, the big tree, which is an oak tree. I'm not sure it's supposed to be an oak tree, but this is the only tree that looked remotely similar. Honestly, yeah, it's just really not my favorite thing here. It's kind of goofy. You do have Cafe 80s, which is new. Nobody has seen this yet because I finished this off screen. The sign, relatively accurate with the parts we have. And inside, this also took quite a second. Again, relatively accurate, but not perfect at all. At least the booths are nice. Those look pretty accurate. And the whole style and vibe is pretty spot on. It's just the actual contents is not really not really correct. But still, it looks decent and it has the same vibe, and that's what this is all about anyway. So that is Cafe 80s. We then have the Blast from the Past. The signs look completely different because what can you really do? It's also closed. You can't actually go inside because I didn't know what to put in there anyway. Then next, the Texaco. Texas company. Texaco, yes, not Texaco. This is probably the most accurate building here. This is really, really close to the original, besides the fact that you can't actually park your flying car up there. Inside is also something completely different in the form of these food stalls. But besides that, it is really, really damn accurate, and I do like the way this looks. Probably the only thing I actually really like in here, for what that's worth. Then here, this whole Jaws Hollow Max building is the station building for the coaster, but it's not the entrance. The entrance is all the way over there. But so this is the entrance, the station building for this ride. Here it actually passes all the way into that hole. This also pretty damn accurate, besides the thing that's supposed to be up here. I just had no idea what that even was. I didn't know how to replicate that, so I just left it as it is. And honestly, it's a lot cleaner this way anyway, so I quite like it. Over here, some ride photos during the ride, which is somewhere at the launch, so that is pretty cool. Yes! Then, of course, this is the... I don't know what this building is supposed to be, but it's here. It is also decently accurate. And in here is actually the queue for that ride, so that it's very necessary to be here, but it's kind of random. All of this is so random. This is the entrance building, the Hill Valley Courthouse Mall. It looks decent. Let me just change the lighting so we can actually see the front of it. Here you go. It looks quite fun. The text has a gradient ish on it, which also looks decent. So yeah, oh, by the way, this DeLorean as fantastic as it looks. This is genuinely incredible. I did not build this myself though. I saw this in the workshop up at the person that made this on screen right now, but big props to that person because this is absolutely fantastic. So much better than anything I could have ever done. Oh my god. Like, look at this. How even do you figure out that this is possible? I don't get it. Oh my god. So I saw this and was like, there's no way I can do this better. I should probably just put this in. This is, I think, the only one of 2 blueprints in this entire park. The other one is also a car from this movie. But oh my god, just look. How even, I don't get it. But yeah, so that's the DeLorean. It looks incredible. Let's go ahead and see the queue. So in here, this is a kind of artistic choice. I did not know what this was supposed to look like because there's no actual footage showing the inside of this building. So instead, I put entrance over here. This leads you down in the underground to the underground and then back up because this goes underneath the path in the entrance, at the entrance over there. So yeah, you make your way all the way through. There's a bunch of kettle pens. This I do think looks pretty sweet. It's kind of industrial. Not sure it has that Back to the Future vibe, but it does look sweet, and that is pretty much my main focus at this point. So up here, a bunch of posters on the wall, some theme park posters. Then here we have the DeLorean Test Run logo again, because why not? Didn't know what else to put there, so there you have it. And we're gonna go all the way up here, even further. This queue is kind of fun, actually, but I'm just not sure it's really the right style. But then here, this is the station area. Over there, this is a pretty sweet thing. I put the trailer for all the different Jaws movies and Jaws 19, as you can tell, on this giant screen because this is still supposed to be a theater, like a cinema. So I thought that was the least I could do. And also because this is a shark, that seemed funny to add as well. It's an in-game thing, so yeah, that's the station. It starts with Jaws 1, I think, and then it goes through all the different sequels that have been there, like Jaws 2, Jaws 3D, you know what I mean. And once you get out, you move your way down here. And this is kind of weird, but you actually go again underneath the area to end up... Oh. Ignore that. That's not there. To end up over here, which is the exit of this coaster. The thing you just saw, I added later, which is why I never noticed that. But this car also is a blueprint. Again, I'll put the creator on screen right now. This looks really cool. It is Biff's car, which seemed fitting to add in here as well. And so yeah, that's that. So I believe that is pretty much it, isn't it? Oh wait, I also built a queue for this ride at the back. It looks pretty whack, but I don't want to have built this for nothing. Otherwise, I did put in some effort and that would be wasted. What the hell is this? So you make your way all the way up here. There's some funky patterns, some flowers. I just really did not know how to replicate the Back to the Future style because it is so dumb. Like it is... What the hell? Okay, that's not supposed to happen, but anyway. Yes, I think that's this area. Everything behind these buildings is going to be seen in the POV videos, so stay on the lookout for those. Once again, I already said that, but let's go then back to this side and underneath this hill valley arch, making our way back to the entrance. I think for today that is as far as we'll go. In the next part, I'll show you Hogwarts, I'll show you the brand new western area, Egypt and Hogsmeade and everything behind that. So for today, I'm gonna wrap this up, and I suppose have a nice day. This isn't really an ending of a video, so goodbye for now.